Is this working? You guys with me? I think so. All right. So welcome back. Now TV Canada, one arm kitchen bandit. So I have all this leftover stuff in my house and it's a blizzard outside. And I can't use the camera properly on my phone. Sometimes when I do my 3-minute clips, it saves to drafts instead of uploading right away. And then a few minutes later, it just deletes itself. So I thought I would just entertain everybody. You can come along for the ride. And what it's like to be like me with an injured arm in a province where the healthcare is not so great. Recently, somebody who had a broken arm was actually sent away after 24 hours of waiting in emergency, having an x-ray that definitely showed it was broken, with just a sling. You would use a sling on a splint in first aid, sending the person to the hospital where they would then get better care, like a cast or an even better, an appropriate fitted, what did I just say? Stabilizer, for a long-term healing solution for the arm. So whatever splint you put on sending there, the splint they go home with would be like the right item. And then you would have it properly covered with the tensor bandage and then in the appropriate form of sling, depending on the kind of rest the arm needs. I personally should have mine up like this with the thing around the wrist, because for me, it's all in this area, swollen and stuff. But there's no point in me going if I'm going to be there for 24 hours and they're not going to do better than I do with my first aid treatment. So I voted for just roughing it out. I'm still caring for a Roxy because the new business I'm into, my new adventures, is dog walking and dog boarding for small, medium, crate trained and house trained animals. So I had said in my earlier video, I was going to make the meatloaf and have it with my chips, but I have leftover roast that I've heated so I can pick it out of the dish and just munch on it while I'm cooking. It was one of the best roasts I've ever made. Fantastic. So hopefully I make you guys hungry. Maybe I'll find my next date that way. There's actually mistletoe hanging above me, and Valentine's is coming up. And it's snowing out. So maybe it's like a 2-in-1 story for the future Santa Claus. He gets his Miss Claus into the claws. So, part 1 is a super moist French vanilla cake. Since I'm basically doing most of it with one arm, I can't make from scratch, and I got to use the box stuff for something. Now, I've already put the peaches I said I was going to put into my trifle dish. Yep. Anybody want to be, I guess, entertaining with me is welcome to reach out. So I'm going to push that aside. And I'm going to do these 2 cake things. Oh, yeah, well, I got you guys' attention. This is Superwoman, all dressed up, ready to go out on a night at the town. Cartoon that was done by an artist decades and decades ago when they were trying to decide what to do about the story of Superwoman. This is the stack, just some of the stacks of the super twin symbol, the new one, which would be like the Infinity Perfect S version, not the ugly thing they put on Tom Welling's chest in the phone booth. And this is the new Luther core symbol. So individually, the Superwoman for a day looks like this. I'm going to be handing these out at the Comic-Con convention, assuming I can get to one of the 2 days this weekend. Best day would be my birthday, the 18th. This is the new Lex Luthor symbol that I created. Took hours of sitting with a person in her office for us to work out and finalize the 2 new designs. And this would be the other new design, the super S symbol for the twins, where they have a half of it they have to bring together in order to get more answers to science and another lab. So that is what I'll be handing out with some leftover cards before my website changes at the Comic-Con in Ottawa, which for some reason advertises that it's free to enter. So I'm like, this is good. I'm looking for headshots, black and white color resumes for people to join future productions. Unsolicited and solicited material is welcome because that's what put me through this mess. All these people wanting agency representation kind of submissions only. And I'm not with that program. This is Canada. It's a separate country. We're separate people, separate writers. We have separate rights and freedoms. We do not have to sell our souls. We do not have to sell our works or our rights to Hollywood. There is a world beyond California and the movies and TV animation that gets made there. And we're more than welcome to explore those options. We're more than welcome to just stay home and do things locally here in Canada. And I don't want to have people go through anything similar to what I've been through. So I've now put the mixture in there, and it says 3 eggs and still wants to put in some oil. And usually I add in more flour and stuff, but this time I think I might just go with exactly what's on the box. And I have a little bit of reheated coffee. I had to open the juice from my bottle with my teeth because I couldn't do it. I've never tried to crack an egg open with just one hand, so here we go. We'll see if I can sort of just hold the shell lightly with the left and do the rest with the right. I got it. Oh, wait. Garbage bag is out in the mudroom. Okay. I'm back. So I have a very well-behaved female dog that doesn't bark. She doesn't talk. She doesn't leave my side. She's very loyal. I'm loving this job because it frees you up. You got the schedule to do whatever you want. You can take one dog at a time. You get paid to exercise. You get to go outside and enjoy the weather, because people who don't like winter, don't like snow, and don't like this season of it, they're happy to pay somebody else to do a job they enjoy doing. And I have a gift with animals. Almost, it doesn't matter what. I just have this ability, this thing. Hang on, I gotta put the eggs away. I am very much a person that cleans as she goes to stay very organized. I am needing to open this milk. I don't have the new milk jug I had. I had to buy big bags of milk from the corner store. Ow. Like, it was almost $9 for 3 bags of milk. I come from a world, I'm this old. I can remember bus fare in Winnipeg. That was only 15 cents. And then it went up to 25 cents. And then it went up to 50 cents. And now you can't even buy a 2-liter milk for $1.99. Or your 2-liter of Pepsi for 99 cents. Or the bread and the eggs being affordable for everybody so that nobody starves, especially now during the coldest time of the year. So to pay almost $9 for 3 bags of milk, and remembering those prices in those days where you could buy a house for, 10 grand. A big one with a yard that's fenced. Well, it's a crying shame to go from that to where we are today in economy and expenses. And all because of people coming over here to try to invest, build higher up, charge more, gain more profit, and try to cover up the expenses of utilities. So they don't have to pay for it, and leaving it to the person that is renting, who's in need of whatever they're providing, so that they have no choice but to give in to what they're asking for. I'm just washing my hand off. Give me a second, guys. So I don't know if I've told you this before while I'm doing this. I just finished greasing the pans with some butter, even though they're like nonstick pans. I don't trust the situation, so I did it anyway. So now the box says it still wants more oil. 1/4 cup vegetable oil. I'd say that's about the rest of that oil here. This part I can handle with my left hand. Okay, now she farts. She doesn't talk, don't bark, but now she's toot. Now she's ready to go outside and go. And I've been trying forever. I don't know how many times I've let her out. She's not a runner. She doesn't go away. However, she's a very Canadian dog. She likes to have, grass and snow. She's got to be trampling through something to sniff and dig into in order to go to the bathroom. If there's nothing, if it's just like sidewalk or completely dry and the snow's gone, it ain't happening. She ain't giving you anything. She's not digging anywhere. And now it says I got to put in 1 cup of water or milk. And because it's my birthday, I'm going with the milk. The cake will taste much better. Okay, this is a problem. Milk bag is heavy, and I have a bad left arm. Okay, I'll hold this. Hopefully my left arm will not break. Pouring the milk from the right hand into this. Oh, hopefully it'll everywhere. Nope, it's spilling. This is not working. Okay. Did you want to lick that up, Roxy? Here, look, there's milk on the table. I have to pour the milk from the bag into the container. Oh, it's still not working. Oh, I made a mess everywhere. Okay, but the milk jug is now empty. It's probably cost me a cup of milk just to do that. Okay. I have to clean a bit now, guys. All right, got to clean up all the milk. All right. Never fear. Cloth is here. Okay. So we're going to try again. This should be much easier this time to go from the jug into the cup. All right. Ta-da. Okay. All right. Now I'll put the lid back on this milk. And I'm stirring with my right hand, and I'm a lefty. I'm going to grab some of my roast. From the bad hand. I'm going to eat. Now, am I supposed to use a mixer? It says you're supposed to Mix it for 2 minutes. But I'm not sure I can handle that. I might just have to mix it by hand. This cake smells amazing. I can't even bring down the flour from my closet. I couldn't add more flour if I wanted to. So we're just going to stand here and mix together by hand for a couple of minutes. I think I have a nice red. It's like a Betty Crocker mixer, I think. It's there, but I can't do it. I can't have it. There's no extension. So I'm just going to keep mixing. I mean, I grew up, most of the time I was cooking by hand anyway. Come from a very long line of old-fashioned cooks in the family. I'm very blessed to be very good at making food, especially right now in the world times when they took away all the best restaurants, all the best experiences, and replaced it with the cheapest garbage possible and try to pass it off as looking good by making it look good. That does in way, shape, or form that it tastes good. This does not look like there's enough cake mix in here for 2 cakes. I am starting to wonder about whether or not I did that right. Okay, so I can make my chocolate cake in that one. I wanted to actually make chocolate cake with like Reese's Pieces or special flavored chocolate chips in the cake. But then I realized I had all this other excess stuff and we're dealing with a snowstorm. And I'm like, well, I better make enough to be able to eat. Low cost budget for a few days. Since my movie work hasn't actually panned out because for 10 years, Michael Rosenbaum, Kristen Kreuk, the girl that plays Supergirl, Erica Durance, that Jessie girl, Tom, John Schneider, nobody's talked about me in spite of knowing about me, in spite of knowing even more and having pictures and seen posts of mine. And it's only because of the instructions in their head, right? Because they're being told you have to be somebody in order to talk about somebody that is the same, right? Oh, so if you're this writer or that actor, you've got to have this agency and that popularity, that publicist. You have to have somebody dictating to you what's going on, instructions, leading you in things. And I don't do that. I'll never sell my rights. I'll just start my own company and hire my own people. And then I'll advertise that producers can bid on the work. I don't know why they think it has to be 2 minutes, although I think I just talked for 2 minutes. So it's mixed pretty good. It smells pretty good. And it looks okay for box cake. So I'm going to go with the smaller dish because I think that's the only size I need at the bottom of that. Technically, it's supposed to be a sponge cake. So pick it up in the good arm. And we'll wheel and deal it into the small dish. I have an idea. If the cake rises too much, I can split the cake in half. And then I can make a double layer of stuff. Oh boy, there's still lots in here. Okay. Happy birthday to me. I'm just happy because I made it to 51. And if you look at the world stats of the average life expectancy, we're not doing so good with all the cancer that's out there and the issues around drug overdoses and poverty, people wanting to end their life because they have no hope that they're going to get out of that poverty, that things are going to improve. Okay. I think I will just lick that bowl when nobody's looking. And we'll just call it done. Batter's pretty good. So, what I'm trying to say is I actually sent the attachments of You've Got Mail 2, the movie script, and Smallville Reunion movie. It's in Jesse's inbox on Facebook through my mom's account because she actually blocked my Facebook, the Superwoman Facebook, facebook.com/iSuperwoman, like back in 2016 when she did like the smiley face on her hand when he first announced her publicly as the girlfriend. So that is why 10 years later, nobody signed the contract with the movie work I've written and worked with me on editing the second one. Lo and behold, I still have to move forward with my plans. Thankfully, I'm Canadian in a different country. So I can still succeed at my own plans without having dishonesty or deception or greed get in the way of my plans. I want to build a little village called Humble Homes with off-grid housing for everyone to have an affordable way of life. I'm going to put the cake in the oven now. I'm not interested in people trying to get rich off the backs of other people, stepping all over people to get their way, to climb their way to the top. Money doesn't solve anything, and love is the answer to everything. So I'll continue to be honest and voice all of that in my life as I share my story through this Now TV YouTube channel, my I Am Just In world. It's my I Am Just In world. Okay, so the next item on the list is the pudding. So I need 2 more cups of milk, basically. I think I'm just going to leave the cake mix because it's French vanilla with the pudding. We'll put that fruit aside. And we'll do this part. I'll have to let this chill a little bit. I might have to actually pull out the hand mixer for this one. So it's 2 cups, basically, of milk. Trying to put this together. Oh! Right, I'm going to end up going to the hospital whether I like it or not. Ow. Do not do this kind of birthday cooking by yourself. On camera live, or you can't go back from what you're doing in front of everyone. Holy moly, jeepers, creepers. Off the area where I need to. This is not working. Where this is needing to be mixed over there. Okay, so I'm going to do my 2 cups of milk again in with the vanilla pudding. Okay. Okay, 1 and a bit, so we can thicken it. I don't need a full 2 cups. Now I'm done with the milk, I think. Yeah, it's just Jello from here, which is hot water, which is why the kettle was over there. But now I have to do that. So I can put this milk away so it doesn't get warm. Okay. Oh. So me and my boo-boo is going to mix by hand a little bit. So anyways, I didn't get to finish my train of thought about Tom Welling and why I'm in Ottawa going to the Comic-Con on my birthday weekend over here. Because he's going to be in Vancouver at the Comic-Con over there for the first time in years. I was there for like 3 years doing my stuff, winning awards, money, publishing work, performing in little places, holding workshops, da-di-da-di-da. And he never, ever, 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 ever returned to go to any of the events. So last year he got a DUI, as everybody knows. It was held briefly and then released, I guess, when he passed. I know why, but I won't get into that now. I think I've made videos about that already. So anyways, now I bought a white rose for all the characters he's played that have never received anything nice like that from a girl, in spite of being a guy that does all those typical celebrations right for their partner. And I did a video about that. So I think somehow he knows we had this conversation where Clark is like, you've never, ever, ever driven drunk under the influence, ever, right? And he's like caught red-handed because he went to the other town, you know, to go into a dive bar and drink himself out of his woe is me. So I think from there, he's like, oh, I better go back to Vancouver. So this year he's come back. But because my friend passed away in October, I made a huge decision to stay here on this side for the winter and just sort of rethink my priorities and values and what to do for 2026. And so when I saw that he was going to be there, finally, I was like annoyed because he's coming for the weekend of the Valentine's weekend. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's a no-go. I'll stay over here. And actually, the picture of the Comic-Con over here, the little poster guy for the Ottawa Comic-Con, is a little super flying guy who's wearing a blue outfit and a blue cape. I can't get this to go. I might have to just mix it with one. I can't push hard enough because of my injured arm. Okay, it's not happening. So you're going to see my back for a minute. You're going to hear nothing but zzz for a minute. Because I got to do that puddings. I'll be back in a second with a finished pudding. So there we go. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Oh, hang on. I better unplug this. Now I'm going to eject it. Okay. So the difficult part is over. The hand blender mixer is done. My point is, I posted the picture of the little blue guy flying with the punch, like the boxing glove on his hand, punch your way through this, and he's flying for the Ottawa Comic-Con, and I had messaged it to him to say, you haven't been to the Ottawa Comic-Con. And when I was working security at the Comic-Con, it was never here for that either. So I said, I hope that's enough space between us from last year to this year. Well, actually, since we took our picture together in Toronto, where I was wearing my Superwoman t-shirt. And he's like, gotcha. I thought he got me. Maybe he did. At any rate, he doesn't seem to be brave enough to read the Smallville reunion movie, I think he's scared that it might be too good to be true. That I actually am a nice person, that it's this kind of nice and that it's that kind of pleasant to read and that he would have that much fun reinitiating his character as Clark and then he wouldn't have to worry about the heebie-jeebies. But all the way through my years of making videos, through the cooking and around the cooking, I had tried initiating the idea of doing like a dinner and a movie thing where the material we're sharing is either my material, so it's fresh and it's raw and it's new and people have never heard it, or it's new material that nobody's heard of, that I've researched and found, or very rare material that only a few people would know about, that are experts in English and who've studied lots about history of writing all the way back, to like the 15th century kind of thing. So this pudding is going to go chill in the fridge now. I completely lost track of the time of the cake. It's supposed to be like 20 to 25 minutes. Okay. On with the show. Hang on, I'm going to put the pudding in the fridge to chill. So the last step is the Jello. Jello. I think I can put all of this. In the sink. All right. So essentially I have to now reheat the water that's meant for the Jello. Because I had to go to the store. Basically, because of my injury, I had to wait till the guy that plows the driveway came and got me out of here so I could get up to the store safely. Because that's where I fell on the ice and mushed up my arm. The driveway here has a massive problem with constantly getting icy because this city is weird. Things get cold, it snows, and then it warms up and it melts. Basically because the ducks like cold water and they still like to swim in it. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need 2 boxes of Jello. Sorry, I just had to clean off the milk. So, I think I'm going to shove that in the sink too. It had spots on it. I don't like spots. I'm going to take another bite of my roast beef. Oh, so good. I've been eating the roast all week. I had 1 big plate of beautiful food the first night with gravy. I had 2 hot roast beef sandwiches, cheese, mustard, mayo. So good. Potatoes, mashed potatoes on top, and then gravy over the whole thing. Really hard to eat because I had an injured arm. I'm just eating the last of it because I'm going to make a meatloaf next. That'll last me for a few days. I didn't eat much today, so just give me a second. That whole thing about the starving artist deal, I can swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. It is the truth. You have to live budget friendly when you write for a living, but don't actually make a living. I've got a lot of job skills and worked lots of odd jobs, and I've worked for many years. And I should have been successful with my first movie back when I finished it at 38. But a lot of things went wrong. So I've been telling my story on YouTube since 2011, just to make sure that the history is there and documented about everything that's transpired since I started writing the Supergirl trilogy, since Heath Ledger passed away, since I met Brad and Angie in Alberta, Lawrence Fishburne and Claire Danes in Toronto. It's just a big story. I don't know who's going to produce that story, but it's real. It's my story. It's true. Look, Clark, I have a terrible habit of being the bachelorette. Nightmare. I drink from the jug. I have nobody else. I don't do that when I have guests over. I'll just open it fresh and then I'll give their drinks to whoever's coming over. But nobody's coming. And I only have one arm, so I had to open it with my teeth and do what I can. So I'm going to put this back. Water. I haven't made strawberry in so long. Mode to employ the French instructions. I can't read the writing. It's really small. Yeah, I think that's what it says. 1 cup of hot and 1 cup of cold. So the boiling water is coming. And then 1 cup of cold. Or fruit juice. Ooh. Okay, I got it right. This is not actually my 1 cup measure. It's a 3/4 cup. Oops. Okay. So we're going to mix it. We're going to do a mixture. I'm going to use what's left of the fruit juice. It's not even a 1/3, 1/4 cup. So that'll be the cold cup. And then I'm going to do a little bit of my cranberry raspberry stuff to finish filling up that 3/4 cup of cold. Now I do have to find the 1 cup for hot. That's done. What do I do with my 1 cup? Oh, I found my 1 cup. So the whole time I thought I was using the 1 cup, but there's the 1 cup. But now the tea is heavy. Hang on, I gotta do it from over here, over the sink. Now I gotta reread this again. Stir until completely dissolved. Okay. So, at any rate, I think that Tom and I would have been a really good team. It would have been very amusing. It would have been very comedic. And it would have been fun if he had partnered up with me instead in doing the dinner and the movie stuff. I think he would have ended up becoming the Santa Claus. Like, he would have fattened up. But I think he would have been like the guy that's talking while he's eating with food in his mouth. You know, doing everything wrong, opposite of what mom told him to do when he's sitting at the table and visiting with guests when they come over. And he's like, oh, this is so good. And then reading the stuff for the first time, and he's never read it, doesn't know anything about it, or watching stuff, and it's all brand new. And he's like, wow, you just blow my mind away with how much you know. I think it'd be funny. So in my story with the Miss Claus stuff that I just did over Christmas, my goal is that Miss Claus has to save Christmas because the Santa Claus is up, right? So everybody who knows anything about Santa Claus is that it's an actual clause. Clause. You have to sign the clause, agree to the clause, become Santa Claus by swearing on the promise of the clause and whatever length of time that clause applies for you as the Santa Claus. And I think that's why they almost never talk about replacing the Mrs. Claus, because usually it's like a package deal, right? guy becoming Santa Claus has to have a Mrs. Claus. He's got to have a wife. In this particular case, the clause expires in my story. And we don't find a new guy to become Santa Claus in time, but I had found my reality. I had been self-actualized and discovered that I was Miss Claus because my name was spelt without the E already. And then I discovered as I got older and things were going wrong in my life when it comes to days and gift giving, and I still kept giving and doing things for others in spite of what wasn't happening for me. And boom, I was born into discovering, hey, this was my destiny. And then I'm like, oh, what are we going to do? The clause is up. We need to find a Santa Claus. So I think in that way, having new characters for him to play, it might have been fun for him to try to cook with me, read work, and try to convince me that it's a good idea if he played it. But I think he's like way too big, like life-wise, size-wise, he's just way too big and cannot be that Santa Claus. So I can't take too long for this. You're essentially supposed to pour it over onto that. I think my cake is, oh my gosh. The cake is swelling so bad. I don't even know if I can take it out, and that's going to cool off and get hard because it's Jell-O. Where's my oven mitts? I can't show you guys. But the inside is still jiggly. Oh. Okay, so I should have put them in two different pans. Okay. I'm going to cheat. I think I'm going to jack that heat up a little bit and hope that it cooks it a little bit faster. Oh, my arm hurts so bad. But I guess I can grab a few more of the chips. Oh, I forgot to put the chocolate pudding in with the vanilla pudding. Too many things going on in my mind. Well, all I can do now is wait for the cake because I didn't put them in two separate pans. I'll split the cake in half and then I'll try to put one layer down, put some of the Jell-O on it, and then put some of that other fruit in the middle, put the other layer on top, and then put pudding, and then the rest of the Jell-O and some whipped topping, I guess. We'll figure it out. But I totally got the cake thing wrong. I didn't do the two pans, and I should have. So that's going to change the timing for everything. And I've just now done the Jell-O. So I might end up needing to do the second package just because I need to have the right Jell-O ready to go to pour onto the cake. And I haven't even cut it in half yet. At any rate, it's been fun doing this and embarrassing myself so you could laugh with me with my one arm. I'll be back with more of what's happening with this, just invented version of fruit and pudding and whipped topping trifle instead of custard and the traditional fruit cup. So that's my spiel about dinner and a movie, my birthday weekend coming up, and my Christmas Valentine, my ice skating Valentine wish with my Charlie Brown story. And I'll end on that. The next story I read to everybody from my vocal page is going to be my Charlie Brown story. And therefore, everybody will then understand the connecting dots of my life and how I ended up in this story ended up being this writer. It's like destiny, fate. It was just meant to be. And when I read it to you, you guys will understand. And if you've watched the cartoons, then you would also understand and connect the dots. So peace out, guys. Stay tuned for more of what's coming from my writing, from vocal, and from my kitchen too. Bye for now. Signing out. Superwoman. Have a good one, guys. Stay home, stay warm, and stay safe.